Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my glass studio. Getting a new kiln can be really exciting, but also a little scary to be responsible for your own glass firing. Well, I'm here to help. I've got this kiln, and I want to give you a little bit of briefing on some basics on how to use a glass kiln. Now, first off, when you get your kiln, the manufacturer has specific guidelines as to where you should position it, what type of flooring it should be on, how far it should be away from the wall. You want to make sure that you follow those guidelines because they're intended to make sure your firing is safe, that you're not doing anything that could risk your safety, your home safety, your glass safety. So all that information is really important. So definitely check the manufacturer's guidelines in the manual that comes along with the piece of equipment. When you start firing your own glass, let me just start by saying you're going to have varying results. That's okay. Your kiln is going to fire different from everyone else's kiln. Even if you buy two of the exact same model, they're going to fire slightly differently. That's okay. The idea is to get a relationship and a track record with your particular piece of equipment in the environment you're using it, with the type of design and construction style that you're using, and in your own environment and your own working process, and how you want to do things. So it's important that you don't follow what everyone else is doing, think yours is going to be exactly the same. That's fine, don't worry about it. The best thing you can do to ensure you have great success is take before and after pictures of your projects and take notes. On the notes, you'll want to put down how you fired it, how long you fired it, what temperatures you used, what materials you used, how you assembled your project. Keep an information log of all those things in a spiral-bound notebook so it's always in one place that you can reference anytime. And as you start to have greater success, you'll be able to notice that you're doing things right and you're doing things in a certain particular order that's working for you. Then, when you want to work on something bigger, something more elaborate, something that's a different type of construction, you can look back at those notes and you can say, all right, I had success here. This is what went well, this is what worked for me, and from here I want to travel to this direction, do something a little bit differently, and makes sense, a new way to go and proceed with a new type of project and a new type of construction. So, you're going to have varying results, and make sure you take before and after pictures and notes of your progress. There are multiple steps to setting up a new kiln. Each manufacturer will have their own user manual along with the kiln, so just follow the guidelines there and you'll know exactly how to set up your kiln. This bar that I just installed is a brace. When the lid is lifted, it'll engage and hold the lid in place securely while you load and unload your kiln. Lid holders will vary based on manufacturer. Here we go. We've got our user manual right here inside. Isn't that awesome? This medium-sized kiln is a great entry-level kiln for beginners. It's also a great addition to an intermediate or advanced glass fuser studio because you can fire small and medium projects and get fast, easy, reliable results. It has a great firing chamber depth that will accommodate small and medium slumping molds. Also, the nice thing about a square firing chamber is you can fit 20% more project in there than you can in a round firing chamber. The heating coils are located in the lid. Some kilns have it in the lid and the side, some in just the lid, some just in the side. Any and all of that is fine. After inspecting your new kiln, you want to go ahead and vacuum the interior because in transit, some of that fire brick moves around a little bit and creates dust inside there. So you want to get that out. So you're going to go ahead and vacuum the interior, the side walls, and make sure it's nice and clean before you get started. This step will also help you prevent getting any of that debris fired into your projects, which is definitely not fun. The next step is to prime the kiln floor. I do this because sometimes glass will move off the kiln shelf and end up on the bottom of the kiln. If that happens and your bottom is already primed, the glass won't stick or cause any damage. If the glass does stick to the bottom, it eventually kind of creates a hole and will potentially burn through the bottom of the kiln, creating a gap or a hole there. So that's pretty undesirable. And this step is fast and easy, so there's no reason not to do it. So just go ahead and prime the bottom. This is a dry material, dry powder mix I add 1 part powder to 3 parts water, but you'll want to, whichever primer or kiln wash you're going to use, just follow the manufacturer's guidelines as to how to mix it. And then I'm using a hake brush here to apply it to the bottom of the kiln floor and ensure that it's protected from any glass that might fall or roll off the kiln shelf during the firing process. In general, I do this when I first get a piece of equipment. You could periodically go ahead and prime the bottom floor of the kiln if you wanted to, if you felt like it was necessary to protect that area and ensure that your kiln would be in good running order long term. All of these little steps bring you one step closer to being really comfortable firing this kiln. So although it seems tedious and like, oh gosh, I want to skip that step, go ahead and do it because it's more time spent with the equipment, becoming familiar and comfortable, so you're more at ease when you go to fire some glass. The primer is pink when it's first applied. After the kiln's been fired, it turns white, so it'll be invisible on the bottom of the kiln. And the next step is super exciting. Let's go ahead and plug this kiln in. Now let's check out the controller and watch it come to life. The digital display shows that the kiln is at idle and the current temperature inside the kiln. It's a great idea to make some fast, easy, but fun test pieces to fire in your kiln. That way you can start to get a relationship with your equipment and get an understanding of how it's going to react and perform when you ask it to do different types of firings. These are 6-inch by 6-inch squares. The base layer is a bone or tan color. And then because I didn't want to do all the same, I'm doing a transparent green, and a transparent amber that will go on top. And because if I'm going to make sample pieces and fire something in my kiln, I want to have a little fun, I decided to put one stencil pattern on the base layer, which is the tan color, and a different stencil pattern on the top layer. So here I'm using powder yellow frit. It's an opal yellow, and I'm applying it on top of a stencil with a large sifter. This stencil method is a fast, easy way to get quick results and get something in that kiln fast. When making test pieces, I'm always tempted to go a little bit more elaborate in the project, but I try to keep myself at bay and do something that's simple, fast and easy, so that if it comes out great, I'm thrilled with it, but if it doesn't come out great, I don't feel like I've lost a lot of time, a lot of material, or a lot of effort. These projects are kind of a tone-on-tone assembly. They're very subtle, but they're pretty. The pattern adds a nice detail, attention to detail that makes them attractive and different from one from the other. So I'm enjoying building these, but again, I'm trying not to put too much effort into this, too much time, because these are test pieces, and we want to make sure that when we build test pieces, that we're getting the information we want, which is really, how is this kiln going to perform? How is it going to fire? Will I want to make adjustments to that firing guide? Will I want to fire things longer, shorter? How is this going to work? So these pieces are terrific for that because they're attractive, they're quick, fun, easy to make, but they also will give us the information we're looking for. To help expedite the assembly here, I'm using just store-bought stencils. And I'm using high contrast color frit in opal powder style. And I'm going to put these top pieces on the bottom piece. Now they don't show up real well here in these photos, but the finished pieces, that bottom layer does enhance and elaborate and add to that top design. I've placed the glass on a primed kiln shelf, and now I'm going to fire this to a full fuse temperature. This kiln comes with a 3-key controller. That simply means it has 3 buttons. This digital controller has an auto feature. You hit the start-stop button, and then you'll cycle through to the firing speed that you want to use. Then you cycle through to the process that you want to use. Then you hit ready, and then hit the on button, and just like that, you're firing the kiln. Here it's displaying the current temperature inside the kiln with the lid closed. I always like to stick around for a few minutes and make sure that that temperature does increase and that the kiln is actively firing before I step away. And here we go. Now we see the temperature inside that kiln rising, so we know we're actively firing. So this is very exciting. Now I'm going to step away and let the kiln do its job. When the firing is complete, the controller will register that it's complete. It will show you how long the firing process took, and it will show you the current temperature inside the kiln. And here we have the unveiling. Oh boy, I would call this a success. We have great edge quality, beautiful rounded corners, nice smooth surface, smooth backside, We've retained our shape. We see the colors now. Aren't they beautiful? I would say we got a successful first firing there. Isn't that exciting? Now I'm going to remove that kiln shelf, and we're going to place a slumping mold inside the kiln. We want that slumping mold to be as low in the kiln as possible, so the glass, when it's sitting on top of that mold, is as far away from the coils that are in the lid as possible. The further away that glass is, the safer it is during this next step. Slumping occurs at a lower temperature than full fuse. So we're going to close the lid and we're going to reprogram the controller. We're going to go back to the auto mode and then cycle through the speed that we want to use for this firing. We're going to go ahead and go slow, and then instead of full, we want to go slump. Then we hit the ready button, the on button, and now we're doing the slumping process. Let's just sit by a minute and make sure that temperature is increasing before we step away and let the kiln do its job. When I think the firing is complete, I come back and check the controller before opening the kiln. I want to make sure that it registers that it is complete. Then it will register how long the firing took, and it will register the temperature inside the kiln. Just because the kiln firing is complete doesn't mean you should open the kiln. Glass is sensitive to temperature change at low temperatures like this, so you want to let that kiln cool to room temperature before opening the lid. And here's our slumped project. This came out fabulous. Just love the shape, the colors, very soft and subtle, but still beautiful. Wow, nice velvety pattern there. Nice graceful shape. Another successful firing. Very exciting. You got this. All right, first and foremost, don't be intimidated by a kiln. You got this. You can just, if you are at this point where you have your own kiln and you've got it, set up, open that box, plug it in, push the buttons. Do everything to feel more comfortable with that kiln. Make a piece of glass that's fast and easy, but still pretty. Put it in there, run some test firings, and then you'll get a track record and familiarity with your piece of equipment and your own working style. Some people like to do everything kind of free-form. Some people like to do everything loosely. Other people are very technical and very precise in the measurements and this and that. And whatever type of style you have is fine, as long as you're making pieces of art that are successful and that they are long-term strong and that they're durable. That's important too. So you got this. You can do it. So thanks for joining me today. I hope this gives you a little bit of incentive, a little bit of encouragement, and the confidence to start firing your own projects in your own kiln. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing how to use this little kiln here, and I hope you get one for yourself and you start firing your own projects, because there's a lot of freedom in doing your own firing and a lot of experimentation, which is so exciting. You're going to love it. All right, so thanks for joining me. Please follow my YouTube channel. That way you'll get notified as soon as my new videos come out. And please like, subscribe, and what's the other thing you want to do? Comment, because we love the comments. It encourages us to keep making these videos, being out here all the time, helping you out with this stuff, and helping us out because we're having a good time. Please consider becoming a premium video member. We have new content, new courses coming out all the time. Members get exclusive content to 25 videos, exciting video project courses with full-size pattern ebook, step-by-step video instruction. You get to be part of our membership, our community, which we love that. So please consider becoming a member of our premium video membership. And until next time, happy fusing.